We are meant to be paid to exist. We're going to get into it. Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome back. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. Yes, you've heard me right. We were meant to be paid for existing. And I know that the majority of us, about 99% of us, cannot grasp this concept because we have forgotten who we are. When we were born on this side of eternity, we forgot. Things were hidden from us of who we truly are. And our first work is to remember who we are. And as we remember who we are, we then can step fully into our purpose, and that purpose will be the resources that allows us to live and exist and be sustained by that purpose. In essence, we will be paid for simply being. And that is the truth. And that is the purpose of everything we do on the Ultimate Love Letter. It is to awaken us back to that truth. As I have just awakened in this second half of my life to who I am. Society is waking up. Society is beginning to remember. Now, we do have a long way to go. I still believe that 99% are still unknowing, but I am encouraged because I see the world waking up, remembering, beginning to remember who we are. We are spiritual beings. We are descendants of the Most High. We were meant to live simply basking in our birthright. We are meant to be living playfully. We are meant to be living in bliss. We are meant to be simply giving away our gifts, and in that way, our gifts return to us everything we need to sustain us in life, meaning we will be paid for our gifts. When we are simply following the love, there is no way that we will not create unlimited amounts of wealth that will sustain us. I love Deepak Chopra's book, Creating Affluence, and he simply says, once we find our purpose, really, once we finally awaken to who we are, once we finally remember who we are and whose we are, then we can unlock our gifts. And as we unlock our gifts and give away our purpose, as we're simply following the love, following the light, following the playfulness, then we are rewarded for that playfulness, for that authenticity, for our gifts that we were meant to give away. And then the world will respond. Life will respond. God will respond by rewarding us for our gifts. That's how we step into simply being paid to exist. The challenge is our parents didn't awaken to be in time enough to plant these seeds in us, to plant the knowing in us. So it is up to each of us individually to awaken. And the first step to awaken is to get closer to God. As we draw closer to God, then God will begin to remind us. God will begin to share with us who we are. And the more we draw closer to God, the stronger we become in our authentic expression of who we are. We no longer are concerned with validation outside of ourselves. Now, this is a process, right? But little by little, day by day, we will begin to grow stronger in the confidence of, I don't need the world's validation because I have God's validation. And as we remember that we have God's validation, we could care less about who the world says we are, because we are reminded every minute of every day who we actually are. Because God is telling us, because God is speaking to us, because God is reminding us, because God is infusing us with that truth. This is when we unlock everything in our life. This is where we unlock love outside of ourselves. This is where we unlock the prosperity. This is when we unlock our purpose. It is true when the Bible says, when God says, seek me first and I will add everything to you. This is what he's saying. He's saying, come after me, draw closer to me. And as you draw closer to me, I will tell you who you are. And then as you begin to live by who you are, the world, I will reward you. I will reward you with everything. I will reward you with, yes, material abundance, with the love that melts your soul, with the work that feels like playtime. Think about it today. What is that thing, that burning desire, that thing that you want to do for the rest of your life? And many of us will say, I don't know what it is. No, you know what it is. If time wasn't a challenge, money wasn't an issue, what would you do for the rest of your life? Think about it. Think about it with your heart, not with your mind. When we're thinking about it with our mind, we may think, oh, well, I would love to work for like a huge corporation as a CEO. Okay, you're still thinking about it, perhaps, with your mind, because you're still thinking about the amount of money that you're thinking, again, with your mind, would create a life of enjoyment. No, really think with your heart. What do you want to do? Do you want to sit on a beach for the rest of your life? Do you want to sit on the beach and simply talk about God forever? Do you want to sit on the beach and simply write for the rest of your life? Now you're thinking, now you're feeling with your heart. Our purpose, for the most part, looks like creativity. Actually, something in my spirit was like, nope, it is creativity. Our purpose is creativity, and that could look like being a CEO. And perhaps you're a CEO, but you're creating things, being the CEO. But our passion, our love, our calling is creativity. So what is that you're meant to create for the world? That in turn will create all the wealth for you. Because that's the truth. I'm seeing now, I'm going to cry. I am seeing now the material trickling in of that material wealth as a result of giving away my gift. And I know that trickle is about to flood. And I'm here to tell you in real time, this is how it begins. First, it begins like nothing is happening. You're simply getting close to God. And as you're drawing close to God, He is awakening you to who you are. You're growing stronger in confidence. You're understanding who you are. And so the world can no longer tell you who you are because you got God in your ear that's infusing the truth of who you are. So when people come and try to tell you what you can accomplish, when they try to correct your speech, where they try to put you in a box and cap the things you say, you can laugh in the face of them, thinking, who are you? Because the creator of it all has already told me who I am. So I can speak freely, so I can stand boldly and in confidence in my free expression, doing the things that I love because I don't need you, I got God. And as you got God, you don't need not only the naysayers, your family, your friends, you don't need anyone, you don't need the love outside of yourself because you got God's love. But He's not done with you there. He is going to bring you everything of your heart's desires, but first, He wants you to get close to Him. Then as you draw closer to Him, you begin to be fulfilled in Him. And as you begin to be fulfilled in Him, it's like nothing is missing. No, the husband is not missing. The wife is not missing. The dating scene is not missing. In fact, you're like, nobody's worthy to date me because you're fulfilled with God and you understand your worth. And so you're no longer going outside looking for anything outside of yourself because God is infusing everything you need inside of yourself. And even though on the outside it looks like you're missing things, you're missing a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, you're missing finances, you're missing that dream house or that dream job, something inside of you is telling you it's already here. And it doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside because that something on the inside, which is God, which is telling you it's already here, is letting you know it is only a matter of time before I manifest it in the 3D for everyone to see, not only for you to see, but for the world to see, but it's already here. And as you feel it already inside of yourself, hot dang, it is only a matter of time, and it will be soon before it manifests for everyone to see. But as you are in that waiting period, it doesn't even feel like you're waiting. You're just playing. You're not worried about what it looks like because you got God's strength. You got God's fulfillment. You got God's knowing, His promise within you that is saying, just get playful, just get comfortable here. Because I'm about to pop it off for you. I'm about to bless you. I'm about to show you the miracle. And then what it begins to look like is what I'm experiencing now. That trickle. Those seeds I planted years ago are sprouting today. And as they're beginning to trickle in and I begin to see, okay, something is happening. Everything is happening. I know that is just God preparing me for the explosion that He's about to bring. That trickle in is the fruit of my labor. That trickle in is the reward coming to pass. That trickle in is preparing me for the flood. I've been doing meditations twice a day now, and I've been meditating to the sounds of water. And as I'm meditating to the sounds of water, it's almost like I'm hearing also the breath of angels around me. And they are pouring into me, pouring over me, just floods of water. It's so interesting, but I can hear them breathing around me like 3 angels. And I know that is God saying, We're right here. We're flooding you with everything you need. And it's almost like the angels are almost like waiting for me to decide which way to go, whatever I want to do. They're letting me know that these resources are available, will always be available. They are simply waiting for me to decide where I want to go, where I want to live, what I want to do. And I know as I'm meditating, I know that is God showing me exactly what's true. I've arrived. And now I can see the beginnings of the fruit of my labor. And my whole purpose, my sole purpose is to remind you, friend, of who you are. That you become brave enough to draw close to God. And in turn, allow God to remind you of who you are. Allow God to remind you that it is safe to give away your gifts. It is safe to do the very things that you're meant to do. It is safe for you to sing if you're meant to sing. It is safe for you to write if you're meant to write. It is safe for you to act if you're meant to act. Draw closer to Him and let Him show you the way that you can simply do and live and be in your purpose and allow the world to reward you. That is the truth. That we were never meant to be grinding in a cubicle 9 to 5. Unless that is your purpose, I can't tell you. But if it's draining you, I can tell you with all certainty it's not your calling. It's not your purpose. Our purpose feels light. Our purpose feels like playtime. And even though it's very much work in your purpose, it doesn't feel like work. This, what I'm doing on the Ultimate Love Letter, is work. But it's what I love to do. So in turn, it just feels light. In fact, I push everything back to do what I'm doing. Right now, I should be on the way to work, quote unquote, with a client. But I'm going to be late because this is my soul work. This is my priority. My priority is the Ultimate Love Letter. My priority is to record for you, to record for the world, to record for God. And then I will get to my secondary work, which is my clients afterwards, because this is my priority. And here's the thing, as we make our work, the work that God is asking us to do, our priority, He will begin to sustain us. He will sustain us, period, which means the money that we get from whatever our side jobs are will, yes, absolutely sustain us, but at some point it will come a time where you can let even the secondary work go because your primary work, which is the work that God has for you, is sustaining you. I'm praying that we step into this new year with the bold expression of drawing close to God and giving away our gifts, because there will come a time when those gifts that you've been giving away will be your primary work. But it starts with drawing closer to God. It starts with allowing God to tell you who you are and reminding you of the gifts you are meant to give. It's time to get playful in this life. Life is worth more than just paying these bills. I will not do it. They got me the first half of my life. They got me to grind in hotels and grind at, managing other people's dream. They got me for about 30 years. I'm done. This next half of my life is devoted to me. I will not just be grinding and wasting away in somebody else's, hotel and someone else's business without living my life. You're not going to tell me where I can go 2 weeks out of the year. Absolutely not. I will go where God leads me. And now God is telling me, you go where you want to go. It's so gnarly. It's so gnarly. This next season that I'm in right now, it's like, I'm heavily depending on God to tell me where to go. But God has just recently, the last few weeks, been telling me, where do you want to go? You're tapped in. Wherever you want to go, God is saying is where I want to take you. That is when you are fully aligned with God, where we can just simply decide which way we want to go and know that wherever that way is, we will be supported. We have angels around us just waiting for us to decide. But we got to be brave enough to follow that call. We have to be brave enough to follow that love. Remember who you are. I am calling to the depths of you, friend. You are a God. You are created in His image. You are a descendant of the Most High. There is nothing you were not meant to achieve, and there is nothing and no place where you were not meant to go where God cannot fund. For goodness sake, remember in this year. Don't waste another moment withering away at a 9-to-5 that is draining you. That is not living. That is imprisonment. Living is deciding you're going to first and foremost give away your gifts. And as you do, God will bring the resources that fund the work that you were meant to do. And that's the way. I want to thank you for joining this convo. I want to ask you, if you haven't found us on YouTube, make sure that you find us there and make sure that you are subscribed. Thank you to all of our YouTube subscribers. Your comments, your shares, it all never goes unnoticed. I thank you so much for making our podcast more recognizable. This is your podcast. It's my podcast. It belongs to God. Thank you so much for doing your part. Also, I want to turn your attention to a beautiful love offering link that we have linked in our show notes. God had placed this on my heart for the last couple weeks, and now it's available. If you feel led to provide a beautiful offering to reciprocate energy, to bless this mission, we thank you in advance for answering that call. I am praying over every single offering that God brings it back 100-fold. I was saying 10-fold, but that's not enough. 100-fold. I am praying that God expands you in every single way. Also, wherever you're podcasting, whether that's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, make sure that you are following there. And don't forget to drop us a review. Your review also makes us more recognizable. Our official merch, toll.merch, is also linked in our bio. And also a reminder, everything in our Toll shop under our World Treasure collection comes with free shipping. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored to bless you with this message. I'm honored every time I press record. It fills my heart. It fills my soul. These messages are always intended for me, but as I know they're intended for me, they're intended for someone else. Thank you so much for being a part of our community and our mastermind. It's you, it's me, it's God. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again real soon. Bye for now.